So, am I starting? I don't even know if I'm starting, mate. Did coach say this? Oh, well, shit. I wouldn't assume it just yet, mate. I still got to earn my spot. You know what I mean? So, shit. But if I were to be...
What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzlies, home of Memphis X, and I talk hoops. Today, we're really going to talk about Steven Adams' extension, what it means for Steven Adams, what it means for the Grizzlies in the future, and what it means for other players on the roster. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
Piano.
Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Demarest like an Escobar.
Shortly before the Grizzlies played their first preseason game, Woj dropped the bomb about the Grizzlies signing Steven Adams to a contract extension, and that contract extension was 2 years, $25.2 million that will keep him on the Grizzlies for the next 3 seasons, hopefully. I think that'll be his 28th, 29th, and 30th year, or maybe 29th, 30th, and 31st. I'm not completely sure, but something like that, which will give the Grizzlies the tail end of his prime at a very affordable contract level. Now, I told you in a previous video regarding Brandon Clark that he hinted that he was getting a contract extension during media day, and that kind of contradicted my previous notion that the Grizzlies were not going to do no further contract extensions, and we're going to try to go into the off season of 2023 with some salary cap flexibility. But it seems like with this contract extension announcement, the Grizzlies have made their decision about what way they're going to go from here on out. Now, for Steven Adams, this gives him a little bit more security. He gets more than a mid-level exception, which he would have probably been able to command easily on the free agent market. But he is a kind of a specialty center, so he is a guy that some playoff teams might not want, or some teams with subpar shooting on their team probably couldn't have. But Steven Adams has proven himself to be in Memphis a valuable offensive player and a valuable rebounder on the defensive end and during the regular season and most other matchups other than Karl Anthony Towns. He is a very effective player. Now, the notion nationally and on Twitter, of course, is that he was unplayable in the playoffs, when in fact, I told you guys earlier, he was leading the Grizzlies in net rating in the playoffs. So that was mostly against the Warriors. He led the Grizzlies in net rating. So obviously he was effective in that series, and he played 3 games in that series. I mean, he was coming off COVID in that series. So, Steven Adams, to me, he has really won me over. I've said this several times on this channel. He has really won me over. I was not the biggest Steven Adams fan coming off his play in New Orleans. I thought that maybe he was kind of, past his prime or not going to be able to adapt to the way the NBA was played. But he seemed to be the perfect fit for the Memphis Grizzlies. Hats off to Zach Kleiman. And this will give not only Ja Morant, but also Jaren Jackson a little less wear and tear during the 82-game regular season, which both of them being sort of kind of injury prone, that is a good thing. Also, his 2-man game with Desmond Bane is elite, and I expect it to only get better this season. And I expect that him playing with Santi Aldama will be a very, very good thing while he holds it down until Jaren Jackson gets healthy. And I also expect that a lot of other players are going to learn to benefit from the passing of Steven Adams, especially Zaire Williams with his ability to cut. I think he's going to start to really benefit as he gets more of a experience in the NBA offense. So what does this mean for the Grizzlies? This probably means that the Grizzlies are going to operate as an over the cap team this offseason, which means they're not going to try to have any cap space. And if you really think about it, other than Danny Green, their roster is kind of full. So whenever they cut down to 15 this year, I don't expect many changes now, unless a big opportunity arises where they can get a really significant impact player that is probably 26 and under, a younger impact player. Steven Adams' contract is good for him, but it also does not hinder the Grizzlies from being able to trade him this season. And it's a very tradable contract. It should benefit any team that he gets traded to, even if it's a playoff team or a team that's hoping, like a fringe playoff team that needs to eat some innings. Like I said, like a team like the Kings, who wanted to really make the playoffs. I think he would have been a real good benefit for them, doing for Swiper what he does for Ja Morant, helping him get easier lanes to the glass. So, you know, it just goes to show you that, and this is something that is always said, and people don't take enough heed into this. Being a good dude in the NBA goes a long way into getting you paid. It gets you extra years at bigger money because teams do not mind having you around. And the fact that you're effective on the court is a bonus and a plus. Steven Adams is the veteran presence. He's been to the finals. He is the veteran presence that the Grizzlies need. Now they got an added veteran presence that they hopefully can get healthy in Danny Green. And this probably means that the Grizzlies are going to re-sign Dillon Brooks this offseason, which is thumbs up for me. So I am very excited about this extension. Although I wasn't anticipating it, I expect that sometime before the 17th, before the regular season starts, they'll be announcing Brandon Clark's extension. And I expect Brandon Clark's extension will probably be 15 to 20% more per season than Steven Adams, only because of youth, and his contract will be extended out longer, which will give the Grizzlies an effective rotation player, another effective rotation player for a low price when the new CBA kicks in and the new TV deal kicks in. So that is what I think is going to happen with Dillon Brooks. I think it gives him a lot of leeway to sign. I think I was listening to Nate Duncan, I believe. It was Nate Duncan or Sam Vecini. I can't remember which one. And they were saying the Grizzlies should have about $40-ish million under the hard cap to sign both Dillon Brooks and Brandon Clark going into next year. And that's just not even anticipating the cap going up more, which I think it will. So they will have a nice little cushion to be able to bring back both of those guys, and they will have them locked in. And then all we have to do is sit and wait. And I think Desmond Bane's extension will kick in as Steven Adams' contract expires, and the Grizzlies should be good to go. And from that point on, I don't think it's going to matter too much, as I think the salary cap is going to explode. And at that point, we'll have Jaren Jackson on a bargain basement deal. And truth be told, we're going to have Ja Morant locked in on a bargain basement deal. Also, until he makes the designated max, for veterans. That should be coming up soon. But that's a story for another day. Right now, I want to know, what do you feel about Steven Adams' extension? Are you happy about it? Were you excited to hear it? And are you glad to have Steven Adams back, a.k.a. Aquaman, back for another 3 seasons, setting picks for Ja Morant? Let me know in the comment section. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell for notifications. And I will be with you guys tomorrow with another video. Peace.